Ellie here from the Dark Imp, helping parents reclaim family time by playing board games together. So today I'm going to give you some tips for managing cheating at the gaming table. Lots of families suffer with this, but there are things that you can do to minimise cheating and to deal with it when it happens. All of the ideas today are in my book, The Board Game Family, so you could get this and see them all in print and loads of other tips. Okay. Firstly, don't let your children set up a game by themselves, at least if it relies on an order of cards or random elements. So it's just too tempting for children to manipulate the order of the cards, to look at the first few cards, to access the information that's supposed to be hidden, or to just deal themselves some extra things that they maybe shouldn't have, or squirrel away some resources in their pocket. So just either supervise the setup or do it yourself. Make sure that it happens when you're there. Secondly, move the resources away from players. So, if you've got the bank, don't put it right next to the child who's going to possibly help themselves to the money in the bank. Keep it over by you. The pools of resources, put them in little bowls so that it's harder to just sneakily take from them. You could even raise them up, so put them on the game box, put them on a slightly different level, put them on a table to the side, so that it's really obvious when somebody's going in there and taking things, and that you can see that when that happens. Okay. If you suspect that cheating's happening, it's a really good idea to review the rules. So this isn't singling anyone out. This is just saying, can we just stop a minute? I just want to go over what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable. These are the rules of the game. You can look at these things, you can't look at these things. And these are the extra house rules we've imposed to make sure everybody's paying fairly. You always go through the banker, you always do this. All of these different ideas, let me just refresh the rules for you. And then you can explain why you're doing that. So rather than saying such and such is cheating, say, because I think some of you may have forgotten, and it's important that we all play fairly. So refresh the rules, make sure it's really clear in their mind what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable. So you might want to avoid the games that use secret dice rolling or secret selection of things, picking things out of a bag and looking at them secretly. These rely on honesty. There are games that rely on honesty. In fact, we looked at one in a previous video, Fuji, cooperative games. That requires dice rolling behind a screen. It's a great game, but not a great game if your children are prone to manipulating dice outcomes. Rolling behind a screen, it's easy to flip it. So avoid games that use those secret player actions. Remove any extrinsic motivation that players might have for cheating. If in your house the winner doesn't have to pack away, you might want to change that. That's a little bit of a motivation to cheat. Make sure that you're not giving more praise to the winner than any other player. Look for opportunities to praise all players. Make sure that when a child doesn't win, but they're behaving really well about that, you give them super amount of attention and praise, because that's how you want children to behave. Make sure that it's not the winning that counts, but the excellent behaviour during the game, and that you recognise that. If you see cheating happening during a game, take the culprit away from the game, away from the table, and talk to them privately. You could say, "Oh, Bertie, can you just come with me for 5 minutes? There's something I want to show you." Take them outside the room, speak to them very calmly for just a couple of minutes, or maybe just 30 seconds even, and remind them that cheating is not allowed. They'll probably deny it. But you can say, yes, you may be right, and yet I saw you do this. And we're not doing that in this game. We're going to leave it there. We're going to go back to the table, but please make sure you play fairly, otherwise it's not fair for everybody else. So take them away from the table. Don't do it in front of other people. Avoid using the word cheating if you can. Ask them maybe why they feel it's necessary to manipulate the results. But try not to get into a big dialogue about it. Just restate the expectations and bring them back to the game. If you really feel like the game has descended into a den of cheating and it's unsavable, then you should declare the game void. And if you have to do this, just say, right, I've noticed some cheating. I don't think it's fair to keep playing. Let's pack this one away and we're going to get out this other one. So just declare the game void and quickly move on to another game.